Hey everyone, I always have to do that thing over on Instagram, so I'm gonna let you enjoy the music while I go do that setup. There we go. Oh, I hit the thing. Sorry, it was only 30 seconds anyways. But we are all ready to go, and I am now live on both YouTube and Instagram. So welcome. Thank you for coming. And yeah, it is Africa Tour update number 7. And it's like I have this little counter, and it's something like just over 100 days, like 110 days till I plan to be taking off. The departure date isn't 100% set yet, somewhere around the 10th of January. But mostly I need, and tell me this. I'm going to ask you a question right off the bat. Is I am going to be having to go down to Accra, and I'm going to probably spend 2 weeks getting visas for Togo, Benin, and Nigeria. Now, Togo's supposed to be online, but I couldn't get the answer of will that work at a land border. I tried, and I was chatting with someone, and I said I thought it was a robot. I was getting such answers. And she said, no, this isn't a robot, it's a human. And it's like, well, then why aren't you answering my question? It's like, if I get the visa online, will it work at the land border? And I explained why I asked. Because the one in Benin, last time I looked, and they might have changed this, they might have fixed it. But the one for Benin, the e-visa only works if you fly in, which means I will have to go to the embassy and get the good old stamp, or sticker or whatever they use. And to be able to go through the land border. Because as you know, I'm trying to do this whole trip from here to Namibia, from Ghana to Namibia. I'm going to try not to fly. There might be a little flight for Equatorial Guinea because there's an island situation, but other than that, I'm trying really hard not to fly. And so, the land border may or may not take an e-visa. And so right now I have no answer on Togo, but I got to do it for Benin, and I'm going to have to get the visa for Nigeria. So I could end up in Accra for 2 to 3 weeks, getting all these. 2 weeks if everything goes smoothly, could be 3 weeks if things go screwy. So my question to you is, should I say, hey, my tour starts the date that I leave Tamale and head for Accra? Is that the first day of my tour? Or is the first day when I leave Accra and head for Togo? So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Is it the point at which I take off for Togo, or is it the point I just leave home and let this all go, and then it's just me and my suitcase and my little backpack? So let me know what you think. I would love to know what you think. I've got the chat up, although let me see. To see last time, oh hey, we got someone over on Instagram. I don't think I can always tell when I get if anyone's watching on YouTube, I don't get notice of that. But I do get the chats, but the Instagram chats don't come over here. I don't know. It's all confusing. Okay, so Ghana to Namibia. Last time we did Gabon, and this week we're going to do Equatorial Guinea. But I'm going to give you a little insight as to the other things I've been doing, because they're very interesting. And first off, rather than writing any more traditional travel guides, because I did the one for Accra, and it's very cool, especially if you get the PDF full illustrated version. It's very cool, but it took a lot of time, and I got to be honest, it doesn't sell a ton. It's because I think travel guides in the traditional form are just not doing the thing. So there's this very forward-thinking company, and they have an app, and they allow people like me, creators or just travelers, to create guides and maps within the app. But the cool thing is, it's not just, oh, I'm now reading it on the app. It's not just to read it. It's a fully interactive map. Like you sit there and say I make do it yourself. Here, let me show you. I'm going to do screen share. Let's share the screen. And, ooh, where'd it go? There it is. Okay. So I'm going to share this with you. This is the behind the scenes. This is the editing page, so it might not be as clean as it looks on the real app. But see, let me make sure you're seeing what I think you're seeing. Oh, you're only seeing part of it. But this is my do-it-yourself, whoops, that's not it. There we go, I see it now. Okay, this is the do-it-yourself across city tour. And if you watch my video either on the 47 best things to do in Ghana or just the 16 best to do in Accra, because it was just a segment out of that, you've seen this, that the city tour with the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial and the W.E.B. Du Bois Museum and the Black Star Gate and Independence Arch, all that. So I made a free guide. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but maybe just watch the map for a second. I've got all this writing here. See, that's the thing, is there's a lot of writing, and then the pictures that come up like automatically are always crap. So I'm doing all my own pictures. And so if I don't know if you're seeing the map, but basically whatever I scroll over, the map moves to, and it has a nice big flag on it, and then they can click on it. And let's see. Okay, you can see this. So see, these are some pictures. And these are all my pictures. And so then I have what I wrote about it. Usually I write a couple paragraphs, tell people what I know, give any tips. You know all those tips I give in my videos when I'm saying, oh, don't forget to do this, and oh, you should know about that kind of thing. I can put them all in here. You know, that's the best part is, and the people using this app are going to be looking for that. They want to know those things. They want these to be personal stories and not to sound like a Lonely Planet guide or a Wikipedia page or anything like that. They want it to be person to person. But what's really cool is, like, I made a clip out of a section of one of my videos, and then I can link to that clip. I can link to anything I want, but in this case, I'm linking to the video. So if they want to watch it, they don't have to watch the whole video. They can just watch the little section that I'm giving them that pertains to this listing. And if I want to do beyond that, so I've got the written bit, I've got the video notes, the video clips, and if I want to, I can do a voice note. So far, I haven't felt compelled to do a voice note because I'm doing so much on the writing and so much with the video clips. So, and then of course they can get directions or go to, you know, the website of the place that comes up when I enter this in the map. But so this is what I've been working on. I've been working on creating a guide, and so this one's going to be free. This is just like the 6 things that I have on the city tour, and yes, I will be. The other one, that one's mostly finished. Then the other one I'm working on is a 10-day itinerary, and see, that's what's really cool. That's what's really cool about this platform, is it goes to where the needs of the traveler are. They can buy a pre-done guide, they can buy a pre-done itinerary, or they can actually, if I open myself up to it, which I certainly am, they can hire me to make a personalized thing for them. And they could do anything from as simple as a list of recommendations, where they just want my recommendations and then they're going to take it and plan it themselves, to, you know, a fully detailed itinerary, you know, and anywhere in between, you know. So there's all these different levels of service they can ask for, and since I know the places I go very well, I learn them very well as I'm traveling. I can provide them with information that not only it might just not exist online, you know, the little details that you only know when you've been to a place, but, you know, I can give them an overview, and I can do things like, you know, lay things out so they're in a good sequence. You know, like I was doing an easy first day, and it's like, oh, hey, this is here. Isn't the National Mosque in it? Yeah, the National Mosque is right in between the two. That's a nice, easy stop. So, you know, but unlike, I'm from Los Angeles. So in Los Angeles, you have to plan everything. If you're going for a drive and you want to miss traffic, you've got to plan and cluster all your activities. Your day is like, okay, on this day I'm in this part of town, and over here another day I'll be on this part of town. You do not want to be zigzagging across LA with the traffic there if you don't have to. And same with Accra. The traffic in Accra is tough. The 10-day itinerary I created is actually not just Accra. It's Accra and Cape Coast because it's Cape Coast is 3 hours from Accra, and if you come to Ghana, unless you're just here for a few days, you really should go to Cape Coast. You really should. So okay, let's see. We're back here. So because Cape Coast has the slave castles, and you need to go and learn and feel that history to really understand it. And but Cape Coast also has a bunch of other fun stuff too. It has the Kakum Canopy Walkway and the Rope Canopy Walkway, which is all sorts of fun, and a bunch of other things. So this has been a fun itinerary to put together, but it takes a long time. I got to write out all the bits. I got to find the pictures and see. It's almost ironic. It's like when we started this back in 2017, and my plan was to do a travel blog. And so everything was straight photography. I had a little compact camera that actually had pretty good lenses and all that, and nothing fancy, but I had an actual camera, and I was doing mostly still pictures. And then 2019, late 2019, COVID grounded us, and we were in Vietnam. We rode out COVID in Vietnam. And during that time, I was looking at it and it's like, we should really be doing video. We should be on YouTube. We should be doing video. So I switched over. Well, now I do almost all video, but because I'm like one person show here, it's challenging because you're getting video and you don't want to miss anything, but you kind of need to pause that for a moment and get still pictures. And the answer is I've actually been using frames from my videos to fill in for my still pictures, but I would get better quality pictures if I paused and took some still pictures. And sometimes that's not possible depending on the situation I'm in. If I'm in a market or something, I got to get what I can get. But so yeah, I started out still, switched to video, and now I've got to continue to do video, but also go back and get some more stills. And it's like sometimes it's just I don't have enough hands and cameras to do it all. So, but I'm excited because this really feels like the future of guides. I can see it get even more complex. So I do futurism. For those of you who don't know, I spent a lot of years writing science fiction. I got to a pro level, and then I became a futurist at a tech company for a couple of years. And so I know the futurism thing. I know the future is going to be you either have a contact lens or it's in the glasses, not the old style Google Glass. They're improving on that, but where you'll just look and you'll be able to access a map and you'll be able to access whatever I entered there, and it'll pop up. And if you want to play the media and all that, it'll get to the point of augmented reality, I'm sure. As you're walking around a town, imagine having someone narrating the history or whatever is important to you. Maybe the history, it may not be. It may be, maybe you're going around looking at graffiti art and they're telling you about the artists and what their inspiration was for that piece, or could be anything. But we're a little bit away from that. AR, augmented reality, has not, I know it's not caught on yet. The glasses, the visors are still big and bulky and not practical yet, but it'll get there. But I can see this travel app translating into something that people are accessing, while they're walking around a city. I completely see this possibility. So I think this is the first steps, and I think it's really awesome. The way it's fully interactive is fantastic. So, okay. And then here in Tamale, rainy season has finally arrived. It's very, very late, but it has actually been raining at least almost overnight every night. But we've had some, we'll have a hard storm, and then the days will be dry for a couple days, or we'll get a little bit here. But there are enough rain to call them a real rainstorm. What they call a drizzle here would be a traffic stopping rainstorm in Los Angeles. So It's cooler, as I say, very late in the season, but hey, we're getting it, and that's the important thing because we got farmers around here and they were suffering. So hopefully this is saving their crops in time. Um, let's see. Side thing. This is going to take some time to get off the ground. Although I found a place in Accra when I get back down there that I can go to. But I got some different colored yarn for my crochet practice. Now this is crappy practice. Well, it's practice. So this is the first string. Now I'm using a really tiny little hook because it's all I could get. So I'm going to go back to the market and see if I can find a little bit bigger one. But this is a really little hook, and it's a little too small for this thread. It kind of wants to poke through it sometimes. So that's where I was having trouble. I was having trouble with that, and so see, I got started, and that was my very first bit. Not horrible, but then I started losing. I was like, okay, oh geez, how do I keep the tension on this? So I still haven't figured out entirely properly how to keep the tension, but I did start getting better. I started focusing on it. And this, as I say, this is the first, 6 or 7 inch or 8 inch piece that I've done. So please don't roast me for my horrible crochet because this is absolute beginner. But see, these were starting to get better. I have some black thread of the same kind, but that's where I was having trouble. The tiny little hook and the black thread, and I could not see the black thread. And then I kept poking through it, and the black is black, and I just couldn't see it. So I'm proud of this. I'm happy with this. I would like to now see. A couple months ago when I was planning all this, it's like, oh, I had 8 months, and then I had 6 months, all still plenty of time. Now I have a little over 3 months, and things are starting to be a crunch. I'm not joking. Things are starting to be a crunch. I don't have a lot to do, but I have some things I want to do. And one of the things I'd like to do is learn enough about crochet to be able to do it on a slightly bumpy bus ride while I'm traveling. Because like if I do the bus ride in one shot from here to Accra, it's a 12 or 13-hour bus ride. And I may not. I may stop in Kumasi and go from Kumasi here to Kumasi and then Kumasi to Accra. Like that's not a bad thing, but it's still an 8-hour bus ride to Kumasi. Even if it's a good bus ride on STC, good roads, yeah, that's perfect. That's actually perfect for crochet. But I'd like to be able to handle the bumps in the road, and I want to get to the point of being able to make the little animals. I got to take this and learn how to make little squares and make some progress on it. And then I got to figure out how to make the little animals because if you didn't hit, this was a couple updates ago, but I want to learn to make the little animals, and I just want to make little ones. I want to make small ones because I think it would be really fun to be working on them to make them. And then when I run into kids, I can give them out to kids. And then I'm not making stuff that I'm either not going to keep or not going to use, but it gives me something to do on a long bus ride while I may be listening to an audiobook. And then I got a little toy to hand out to kids. And they'll squish pretty well, so I can make a few ahead. So if I get a bunch of kids at one time, I have enough to give out. And so that's my goal with the crochet, is I want to get to the point where I can make little animals and give them out to kids. We will see if it happens. We will see. But I found a shop in Accra that I'm going to swing by when I go down there, since I'm going to have at least a week or two when I get those visas. French lessons are going fine. I'm learning French on Duolingo, and it's going pretty darn well. Haven't done my lesson today. Didn't feel like it. Felt a little grumpy about it. No, because I've been tired today. I'm going to be honest with you. I've had like 3 hours sleep. I woke up and I just wasn't getting back to sleep. I woke up at like 4 a.m. and I was like, okay, you're done. And then it started raining. I was listening to that, but it doesn't happen too often. But I only got like 3 hours sleep last night. So I'm running a little low today. And, okay, this is something most people in the U.S. don't have to deal with. I want to say no one, and I don't know what the setup is if you do, but I just figured out, okay, we have water tanks here, poly tanks. They're big round things. And in this apartment building, we have a 3-story apartment building, and up top, There's one tank that the apartment building owns that's allotted to this apartment. It's got 2,000 liters in it. When we first moved in, then you get a tank for the bottom, and the this was one of those things where I asked the crew that was helping me rent the place and move in and paint and everything else, like, is there anything else I need to worry about as far as expense? And they said no. And then I find out, yeah, there is. I got to buy a water tank. Not only do I have to buy a water tank, then I got to buy the water pump, and then I got to hire the plumber and the electrician to install the pump and the pipes to go up top, and blah, blah, blah. So I have a tank up top, I have a tank down here, and we got the 1,000 liter one, and then I found out that was too small, especially when Tim was with me. And so then I got a bigger one. They let me exchange it, which was really nice. And so today, 3 months, a little more than 3 months before I'm ready to leave, my pump's not working. And I have no idea why. I know the reset button. I know the on and off switch. I tried everything I could, and it really just feels like it's like fritzed, like it's not getting any electricity. I noticed the cable was taped up, and I don't know when that happened. I don't know if maybe someone noticed it was like dried out and they taped it for me, or maybe another crew was doing some work and they messed up my cable, and they taped it up and in the rain got into it and fried it. Or it could be something else entirely. It's been working for about almost 2.5 years now, so it could be something else entirely. Or it might be an easy fix and I am just missing it. So right now I have water in the bottom tank and it's not getting up to the top. The top is not empty yet, but I noticed my water pressure was low, and that's a sign that the water is low. But and the thing is, a little more about life here in Ghana, and especially Tamale, is the city pumps water. Okay, the city pumps water, and it's rainy season, so they should have no problem pumping water on a decent schedule, like once a week. However, during the dry season, sometimes they don't pump water, and it can be 2, 3, 4, or 5 weeks that you're going without any refill. And that's when you end up calling the guy with the water truck. And he literally comes out, has a truck, tanker, has a pump, big pump, and he pumps it full. And I've got a really nice guy. He makes sure to turn on the pump for me so I can get as much as I can filling the top. I've even had him come back, if he's back in the area a couple days later, if he didn't get the top filled, then he'll fill it a day or two later, which is really nice, really nice. But yeah, that's the saga of having a water tank here in Ghana. As I say, especially in Tamale, because it's dry up here. It's very dry up here. And sometimes, you call the water truck and he can't get water. And so you're down to like a couple times during the dry season. They have this water, drinking water, but it comes in bags. And it's just the basic, purified water. It's safe to drink. But at that point, sometimes you got no water in the tank, none anywhere. No one can get it. And, you're sitting there washing your hands. You're washing yourself with like these little sachets of water. That's happened a time or two. It's a little bit like camping. Okay. So that was a saga that happened just before I came on live here. Like a half hour before I figured out that, oh, crud, there's no power. First there was no flow. The flow was low, and then, the water pump problem. Okay. So now that everyone's here, right? You're all here? So let's talk about Equatorial Guinea. Again, I haven't done the formal, and I have not done an utterly formal. Oh, hey, got a bunch more people on Instagram. Hello, Instagram. I wish it would show me, but so Equatorial Guinea. Let me start showing you some pictures. I'm going to go back to screen sharing, and we're going to start showing you some pictures. First, let me show you where it is, because this is a really little country. This right here is Equatorial Guinea. You should have that on your screen, right? Okay, so this right here, so here's Ghana. I'm going to go through Togo, Benin, Nigeria, Cameroon, Gabon, but I will probably, after Cameroon, I will probably go to Equatorial Guinea. It is the only country in Africa where they speak Spanish. And I have a few years of high school Spanish, and I lived in Los Angeles, so I should do okay. I'll refresh myself on Duolingo, but I'm sure I've forgotten all my verb tenses and that kind of thing, but I can certainly get along in Spanish. Um, and so that is Equatorial Guinea, little country. And so let me see here. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Okay. Right now, what I have found is some things they have. Let's see, here's a big cathedral. I didn't actually look at the listing on this one, but they have a number of cathedrals are listed as places to go see, and they do look like pretty awesome looking cathedrals. So I'm sure I will be checking out at least a few of them. But let's see, how much are you seeing of this? You're only getting the side of it. That top one's a cathedral. And then Malabo National Park. I haven't gotten. Everyone says it's a nice park, and it says it's really nice, but what it doesn't say is exactly what there is to do there. Okay, so I'm going to go through. I think you should get a decent. You're seeing oh, I gotta switch and share this other tab. Hold on, this one. So I'm going to share this tab instead. I'm going to take a peek at what you're seeing. Okay, this gets you some better pictures. And so you got a statue. They have a body painting contest every year. I don't think it's in January. I don't think I will be making it for that, which I regret. Maybe I'll be able to make it another time. But they have a body painting contest, which just sounds utterly cool. Utterly cool. And then here's some more statue stuff going on in some sort of park. These pictures aren't labeled, sorry. Let's see, here's a map for the park, and you can maybe see, let me see if you're seeing that carved statue. Yeah, see, look, check out that carved statue. So this is, they talk about Malabo Park, and a lot of times it's a national park and there's like animals and this, that, and the other thing, but I don't think so. I don't know exactly what goes on here besides that. It's really a little bit vague. And again, I'm at the beginning of my research. I'm just giving you what I found to share with you. And I was just about to go reset my router. Hang on just a second. Oh. Sorry about that. It disconnected, and I was just about to go reset the router, and then it came back on. So this is some of the face painting, and it's just really cool. So even if I don't get to make it to this event, it's really cool to know that they do it. And if I can make it at some point in time, if I can make it, I will. Of course, I would make it if I could. Let's see. And let's see if I can get you a decent shot of this cathedral. Let's see, this is Bata Cathedral. And let's see what you're seeing of it. You get the corner of it. As I say, right now I'm seeing cathedrals, I'm seeing a national park that doesn't seem to be a big safari thing or anything like that. And the other thing I found, let's see. Oh, well, they have this greenhouse that's supposed to be an example of colonial architecture. I'll show it to you here. And the thing is, I saw 2 reviews on it that said, oh, it's closed for renovations. They were 5 years apart. Okay, so I don't expect this to be anything more than the picture you're kind of seeing there right now. When I go, because one was just like a year or 2 ago. It doesn't sound like they're finishing the project. And I don't know what's special about it other than it's a colonial architecture and it's a greenhouse that's hard to miss. Oh, and here's one I want to show you. Let's see how much seeing of it. Okay, you can't see the part of it, but this is one of those beaches where the waters just they're like crystal clear, blue-green, but they look like the waters are really gorgeous. The thing is, there is 0 review on this place. There's it's on TripAdvisor, and yet there's no information on it whatsoever. Not a lot of people go to Equatorial Guinea. I'll be honest with you. It's got an expensive visa, and just not a lot of people go there. It's a tiny country, and if you're not in that area, I don't think it has a huge draw of its own. I think you'd be in the area and you'd include it, but not a ton of people go there. And so even TripAdvisor doesn't have a ton of information. Now, then I went to Atlas Obscura to see what other people saw that was more than interesting. And what I found there that wasn't on this other site was this place. And it's waterfalls. Let me get back to it and see if I can get a better picture for you. This is Eureka, Ureka, or San Antonio de Eureka, Ureca in Spanish. But the guy starts out by saying, the first time you see the first waterfall as you get out of your car. You're getting out of your car, you see the first waterfall. It's like, oh, you might be tempted to just stay there and enjoy the pool and relax the day away like the locals do. And he's like, but if you keep going, there's another waterfall. He's like, oh, it's about an hour-long walk, and there's a beach involved and all that. Let me change the picture here, see if we can get a better shot of waterfalls or something better. You got a little edge of waterfall. And, he's like, if you go to the second, waterfall, and then, so it's like an hour hike. And since we know I'm a crappy hiker, I might be better by then, but let's assume I'm still slow. Even if I'm better and have more endurance, let's assume I'm still slow. They say an hour, I'm going to call it an hour and a half for me. And that's no problem. So I might go for the second waterfall. Sounds good. And he says, but if you keep going, then there is a third waterfall. But he said that one, this starts getting a little concerning. He's like, there's a path to it, but sometimes it gets overgrown quick, and sometimes it can kind of be hard to see the path. And he's not talking about having a guide or anything. He didn't say, oh, my guide showed me where it was or anything like that. And that becomes, the third waterfall is a distinct hike into the jungle. But wait, there's more. Evidently, there is a fourth and final waterfall that can be reached. I don't even want to know how long this takes, or he didn't say how long it was to waterfalls 3 and 4. But evidently, yeah, there's a fourth waterfall, and evidently there are biology grad students or someone out there, or scientists. They're out there studying turtles and mating habits and all that. So there's people out there, and you can go visit them on your way to this fourth amazing mythical waterfall. And Evidently they appreciate it if you bring them some gifts, some goodies. Sounds like somewhere you'd want to take chocolate or something like that. Although it's like hot in this place, so it'd have to be the. There are certain African chocolates where they do a pretty good job. They have them here in Ghana where they don't melt. So I don't know what you take them, or even just some sodas or something might be welcome. Something that they don't get out in the jungle. Let me see. Let's see. Hidden just beyond their camp is waterfall number 4. So they're from directly. They camp out in the jungle for months at a time, studying the giant turtles that nest on the beach. So, um, so yeah, they appreciate supplies that you bring them. So they live out in the jungle studying turtles. And while that sounds very cool, on one level, that sounds quite cool. Um, oh, uh, that might be a little too much hiking for me. And then who knows if I'm feeling in good shape at the time. Depends on how far 3 and 4 are, because he didn't say how far. It's like, well, is it another 10 or 15 minutes, or is it another hour, between them? So that would depend a lot, and I'd want a guide with me. I would not go trekking through the jungle solo. Um, I'm just not that stupid. I'll take some chances, but I'm not that stupid. So, okay, well, first of all, I'm going to say thanks for joining me. I think that's everything I got to share with you. So do me a favor, let me know. Should day 1 of my trip be when I leave Tamale for Accra to go get my visas, or should it be when I leave Accra for Togo? Which should I consider day 1? So leave that in any comments, or you can leave it on the community tab on whatever my last thing was, or just you can direct message me, whatever you like. And so that's it. I'm going to say thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing this with me. I hope you're enjoying the Africa Life updates and the tour updates and the place. I hope you're enjoying my research on the places. I really appreciate you showing up, and I'm really happy to be here with me today. And let's wish for a little rain tonight. It's almost raining. It's trying out there. So, okay, thanks a lot. I'll see you next time. And oh, hey, can I do the music again? Can I have sign off music? Ah, I'm going to give you a little music while I work the sign off. There we go. Yay! My video, right? Go check on. It's like a 2-minute song, and it's a really cool little video. This is just a segment. I'll see you next time.